the lights on over the dining room table, and you'll see me hunched over my writing. So this is about my morning ritual. The barista in this cafe wears a cheetah-patterned bathrobe and has bed hair. Her slippers scuff the floor. Her coffee is inconsistent in quality, but lately it's been extremely strong. She pets the dog, sneezes, blows her nose, and finally pours me some coffee. Hunched at my table deep in my journal, I acknowledge her reluctant presence. These early mornings seem to make her surly. She wants to wash a few of last night's leftover dishes or pick up the shoes and newspapers from yesterday. She won't let me write, and I do want to write. How can I tell her to just sit down and be quiet and let the muse do its thing? Some of you remember a couple of years ago, the dairy farmers around the county put a weed killer out on all of their fields, and the label on the package of weed killer said it was safe for cows to eat, that wasn't going to be a problem. But what the dairy farmers did not imagine was that most of the dairy farmers here in Whatcom County send their dairy poop over to the compost makers. So the compost makers made all this wonderful compost, and all of us gardeners bought it. And our dahlias didn't like it, our spinach didn't like it, and most of our gardens just kind of keeled over and said, I'm not doing that anymore. So this is called Better Life Through Chemistry. Chemicals sprayed on grass, giving it gas to keep the weeds from growing. Cows munched this delightful treat, for it was oh so sweet. In the spring, dairy compost is the gardener's haven. We even get a little craven, but the compost was tainted, and now all my veggies and flowers are well acquainted. My potatoes are puny, gardeners are not loony. It has not been a boon for my flowers. For the hours of sun and water they are small, and the veggies are in a stall. What made the grass grow and the cows munch has greatly affected my lunch. I subscribe to the J. Peterman catalog. I don't know if you know J. Peterman, but his original thing was a little ad in the New Yorker magazine, and he had the Western duster coat, which became a huge seller, and eventually he added a whole bunch of other sort of exotic clothing to his line of clothing. And at one point they even had some shops in shopping malls, but now you can only get their things through the J. Peterman catalog. So this is called the J. Peterman catalog. J. Peterman catalog came in the mail. Oh, makes me want to set sail for exotic ports of call, wearing their Indian gypsy shawl. I want to be a femme fatale, looking fabulous in a remote locale, wearing a sarong, or palazzo pants, or a Baja Cantina dress. Just let all the men guess, who is this woman of mystery? I'd like a checkered history. I'd like to regale them with stories of my indiscretions and subsequent glories. Instead, I'll lounge on my deck with the tall, cold flute of demi-sec and dream. This is called A Day on the Beach. Do you remember a day on the beach? Bare feet in the sand, seagulls circling the strand. Remember that day on the beach, picking seashells and rocks? We paid no attention to clocks. I'll bet you remember a day on the beach, eating soup with chowder as the waves on the rocks grew louder. Remember that day on the beach? The water was warm as a bath. A jogger left us a path. I remember that day on the beach. The fishing boats rocked with the tide. Fishermen mended their nets dockside. And remember that day on the beach. Kites rolled in the wind. Children caught fish, spiny and finned. Ah, yes, those days on the beach. We had time on our hands and paid no heed to the shifting sands. Now we remember fondly those days when youth was on our side, and a day at the beach was a lazy ride. Now we wear hats and gloves and worry. Now we wear gloves and hats and worry about checkbooks and bureaucrats. But the tide continues to roll, and we must learn to give up control, making the goal a walk in the sand, hand in hand, and a thoughtless day at the beach, a lengthy reach from the world at large.